I'm not dealing with air traffic control. I'm not dealing with air traffic control. Air traffic control. Alright. Well, greetings and welcome to FSX Galaxy Run. Now in this video, I believe that a previous gameplay I've done in the past playing Microsoft Flight Simulator X, I feel confident enough that I could go for a run, as in a cargo and personnel run. So in this video, we're going to Southwestern Colorado to pretend to drop off supplies and personnel. And, of course, I'm eventually thinking about flying the F-105 Thunder Chief in the area for missions. Not just test flights anymore, but for missions. And in order to do that, you need supplies and personnel in the area. And, of course, let's look for the airplane I want to fly. I know it's a Galaxy, but oh my. Let's fly this one. Now, I'm not going to fly the low-vis due to lack of appeal, and I want to be as fictional as possible. But this is what we'll be flying. So today I'm thinking of going to Grand Junction and then to Montrose. Because, for one thing, you know, those are popular hotspots in the state of Colorado. I may be wrong, but, you know, for whatever reason my heart desires to go there for. And especially to go to Montrose by way of Grand Junction. You know, it's because each and everything works. And those areas probably need supplies and personnel. And we'll be flying the C5 Galaxy. Go there. Now I rule the time, date, and weather. And bear this in mind too, that the scenery as usual, you know, there's not much I can do about it for the time being, but here's what I want you to do about the scenery. Just think of it as nothing as opposed to what you're going to be seeing later. Well, especially because apocalypse is in our hands, and of course, apocalypse signs are intensifying. Just think of this as nothing. Yeah, just train your eyesight for what is yet to come. Yeah, train your eyes and, of course, your senses for what's yet to come. Because I don't think it's good. Because of the time being I recorded this video. Anyway, we're going to go to Duke City's airport. And bearing in mind today that I am not dealing with air traffic control. Because they want me at runway 26. And I don't want to go to runway 26. We'll just put the flight plan in. However, you know, I will not talk to ATC in this case because I just want my runway. I just want my way going to those airports. I really do. And there's actually going to come a time, I think really soon, to where ATC is going to be gone anyway. Air traffic control anyway, so I'm doing some apocalyptic preparation here. So now we're going to go from Duke City's main airport. Yes, we're starting from a helipad, but guess what? There's no helicopter traffic in FSX, at least in my game. Now, bearing in mind that I want this channel monetized, I'm making this video as a way to take steps towards monetizing this channel. And especially because my life is not going as planned, like many through most of you. You could always give back to those dreams one way or another. In some way, shape, or form, etc. So, here we are. It's going to take us a half hour and 2 minutes, but I'm going to take more than that. Plus the loading sequence, which I don't think I even want to deal with, but let's see. I roll the time, date, and weather, so if anything, I just want to go ahead and clouds on one. There's only a few clouds out this morning anyways, at least from when I recorded this video. And now at this time, and we're going to do this. I'm going to start flying now. My, oh my, it's loading. Maybe not as quick, but we'll see. I think warming it up makes it go a little faster, but I don't think it's going to go any faster. We'll just see, alright? Well, especially while this is loading, I'm thinking to cut some of the loading sequence out. Hence, you might see a title, FSX Galaxy Run cut version. I'm going to go ahead and give you a briefing, which I should do. And the likelihood is that I'm going to cut some of the loading sequence out. Okay, here's a briefing. First and foremost, I could never have a perfect plan. But I'm going to go ahead and start with the emergency plan. So when and if I have an engine failure, before takeoff, I will land straight ahead. I will do it by closing the throttle. And of course, other planes ahead go left. We go right, and we stop. And I guess it all depends on the situation. Sometimes if there's a plane coming in from the right, we go to the left. And if there's a plane coming in from the right, we go to the left. Or plane coming in from the left, we go to the right, and we stop. Then I will begin the evacuation process. Now, if I have an engine failure after takeoff, I will come back the way we came in, and or get us on airport property as much as possible. And if that doesn't work, we're going to have to go to Coronado Airport, Double Eagle Airport, or even Santa Fe Municipal Airport. And if we have to land off airport, I will go accordingly. I will find one of the most sparse areas, and I will lower the landing gear, and I'll keep everyone away from the doors, and or anything that opens and closes, and then we land. But I will give a hint that we're in distress. Let's see. Okay, well, today's flight, I'm going to say this, I'm going to pass notes to the ground personnel, and they're going to tell me, don't go anywhere yet. And I respect that, and I tell them same drill as usual. And this time, I would like the co-pilot to take the notes that the ground personnel has. The notes, I expect, contain a little imaginary cash in there. There because of this, It's military, Things move pretty fast. Actually, things move really fast most of the time. And not to mention that, of course, the ground personnel has been willing to pay for some of the things they broke. It's usually a piece of kitchenware that they break. Now, the ground personnel usually breaks a glass, a bowl, plate, and they tell us they're willing to pay for it, and they do. And, of course, it's my world, so why not? Now, the reasons, for these flights here is because, just like many through most people, I have a desire, to live out some of these piloting dreams, but I can't live all of them because, for one thing, I'm different, and not to mention that, of course, many through most of us, will bust the medical requirements and our character requirements to get in. So, especially due to the fact that I'm a Civil Air Patrol officer and have been one for 5 years now, but like 5 years as a cadet from before, I could, of course, emulate some of what the real C5 Galaxy pilots do. Like in this flight, it's, of course, sensitive but unclassified flight. We're bringing imaginary supplies and personnel to Grand Junction, and then eventually on to Montrose. And the reason for doing so is because, whatever my heart desires at the moment, I will give it to it. And the reason why I want to give it to it is because, I think that I'm being called to see what something will hold. Especially because of everything happening right now. Some of you might have to fly from Albuquerque to Montrose by way of Grand Junction. Doesn't make sense, but oh well, I think you're being called to do so. Some of you are. And from the time being I recorded this video, I'm in Civil Air Patrol with the current grade of First Lieutenant. Grade also is another word for rank. And my current cap grade is a First Lieutenant. At least from when I recorded this video. And I'm sure there are many junior grade officers who fly cargo planes as well. But since I am, of course, the only officer who's flying the bird, I'm going to have to sit in the left seat because it's conducive for me. And not to mention that I'm eventually going to have to take charge and lead someday in some way, shape, or form. Alright, this is what's going to happen here. Now the scenery is going to look like crap, I'm going to admit. However, I'm going to tell you this. You ought to make good out of it. And you might ask me, why are you just thinking about making a cut version? Well, it's because I just got up for the day, and I had to do other things before playing. And yes, it's good to have pets, so I chose to take care of them before I started flying, as well as do a little bit of mundane housework. And not to mention that I had to shave as well, because I'm setting in, or actually not just any example, but a good example to our youth, like Civil Air Patrol does. And not to mention that I also do other things too. And, And no, I'm not that one person, from the Dr. Phil show who was addicted to playing video games. So that's why you might ask me, why aren't you making a cut version right now? The bottom line why I'm not making a cut version of this video right now is because from the time being when I recorded this video, I just woke up for the day. Or I just woke up a few hours ago. And of course, the things I do, they're actually more important. Actually, they're really important, but these tasks are dangerous. Like shaving, for one thing. That's dangerous. Plus, I need to get my computer warm, too. And I even had to make sure that I was feeling well enough to fly. Which I am, Even though I'm a little tired because of how weird the Earth has been lately. We're all expected to give some due at some point when we're tired. Especially when the Earth acts weird. Not to mention hungry as well. Especially because you might get contact munchies, from the general public. So here I am, playing this game, trying to give due. And attempting to give some contributions back to some dreams that I had lost in the past. And what do you know? I think, like some people, it was better to play pretend for many things. Now, I understand some of you want the real thing, and I respect that decision. I respect those choices as well as decisions. But I'll let you have at it to actually try. As for some of you, I already know what you're thinking. I do not like the loading sequence. However, I'm going to promise you this right now. I'm honestly thinking of making a cut version to many through most videos. Meaning where I take the loading sequence out. Now you might ask, why do you insist on talking during the loading sequence and cut some of it out? Or better yet, when you fly the cargo planes, why do you talk during the loading sequence? Actually, at the moment, cargo is really important, and of course I want to make sure that my cargo, as well as what I'm carrying in the cargo plane, makes it okay. Anyway, as the loading sequence picks up a couple percent, or more than 2%, I'll tell you this. Our cargo today consists of sensitive but unclassified supplies. We'll be carrying pilots for the F-105 Thunder Chiefs. We'll be carrying ground personnel for our cargo plane as well as the F-105 Thunder Chiefs. We'll even be carrying, medical supplies. Yeah, believe it or not, we're carrying baby items. And of course, did you know baby items are actually medical items? Child diapers, we're carrying those. As well as, things from Rears and Adult Baby Universe, etc. Because, believe it or not, a diaper, as well as, other medical supplies, like I said, they're actually not just for babies, they're also medical supplies too. If you might ask why we're taking that stuff to Colorado, it's because of this, They have at least a third more water than New Mexico. I may be wrong, but yeah, especially because of all this flooding that's been going on in the world. I want to make sure that some living beings there, they have their preferences, as well as, avoid sewage water being spilled in their area as much as possible. And of course, give back to a state I also like as well. Of all states I like, I like the Four Corner states. And I especially like Southwestern Colorado. To be honest with you, actually my favorite state is Colorado, but I like the southwestern portion of the state. But the real reason why I want to stay in New Mexico is because of this. From the time being I recorded this video, especially in Glenwood Hills and in Duke City, here's the reason why. Well, decent price trauma care, especially because UNM Hospital is level 1. Either way, trauma care is expensive, but I'll tell you this. At least the costs are reduced in Duke City. Plus, I was even born in Duke City, and of course, yeah, I'd rather keep living in Duke City, New Mexico, and of course, contribute to Colorado as much as I can, like by making these videos. Now, what I'm doing in this flight, is I'm delivering supplies to Montrose, and eventually some to Grand Junction. Correction, some to Grand Junction and some to Montrose. More likely as I'm thinking about this, but I'm not sure. But hey, it's a game. I can do as I please. I don't think you could do this in real life just yet. I think I'm gonna give half of the Galaxy to Grand Junction and half of the Galaxy to Montrose. The supplies and personnel those are. And the reason being is because I think Montrose needs a plane more than anything else. I think the first thing I'm going to do is bring the Galaxy to Grand Junction and then to Montrose. Now I'm just going to go the cheater's way and just pretend that everything's in and out because it's a game, so why not? Now, in real life, when it comes to loading and unloading, it takes minutes or sometimes hours. So I might say things like abracadabra, things like that. Just to entertain you. And at the moment, I'm going to go and say this. Ground personnel, same as usual, abracadabra. What I mean by that is, go ahead and get the notes from ground personnel, or actually, to those on board, especially to the co-pilot to my right, abracadabra, go ahead and get the note. Or notes, mind you. Abracadabra, get the notes. Abracadabra this, abracadabra that. We are in such a big hurry right now. And eventually, you'll have to go to Southwestern Colorado. Now the real loading sequence, not this one you're seeing here, but in Grand Junction and Montrose, when we offload and load, that's going to take minutes. Or if anything, at least a few hours. Because in real life, it's procedural. On FSX, why not provide some cartoon entertainment with something productive? Like this. Come on. I know what you're thinking. But I'm going to promise you this. I'm trying to improve myself. We'll see. If you don't hear me again from this video, I might hear you in the cut version. And before I decide to go into the cut version, I'm going to say this. Bottom line of this video is, the mission of the day, deliver personnel and supplies to Grand Junction and Montrose. But we're going to go to Grand Junction first and then to Montrose to see how things are. And not to mention, make ways for new frontiers. Now, bearing in mind that there's going to be some cheating as well, because my channel, especially my FSX gaming channel, is meant to be for entertainment. Well, that's all I have for this portion. I'm probably going to see you in the cut version. Oh yeah, if I decide to make the cut version. Okay, whether you watch the cut version or not the cut version, here we are. And I'm going to tell you once again that, today's mission is a supply and personnel drop-off between here, Grand Junction, and eventually to Montrose. And then from there, we, of course, do one more thing, and then that's the show for the day. Now, the reason why you asked me, why I'm doing a cut version is because, yeah, I know how you feel about watching to 100% worth of loading. Most of you don't like it, and that's fine. Now, if you ask, why is some of the loading sequence even in the video? Well, it's because, for one thing, it's a cargo plane, and actually, a cargo plane is one of the most important things I could ever have. And the reason why I talk is because the loading sequences, I just want to give you some briefings, as well as, ensure safe delivery of my cargo to wherever that may be, as well as my personnel. And of course, I want to go ahead and talk about a few things here. First off, I am not dealing with air traffic control in this flight because I never get my way with them. I never get my way. I really don't. And of course, especially in a time like this, there's probably never going to be such a thing as air traffic control the way you're used to it. So, I'm right here trying to figure out something, especially if no ATC is available. So here we are. We're at Duke City's main airport. Ah, no sound. Isn't that ironic? Like, ground personnel says, don't go anywhere yet. I respect that. Co-pilot, get the notes. And he always says, do abracadabra. So we don't go anywhere yet. Once again, I'm like, I respect that. That's for you, abracadabra. Well, since I'm in charge here, I'm not going to go anywhere just yet, so I'm going to look around. I'll walk around. So I'm going to walk around. Engineer, flight engineer, navigator, communications, military. Man, I never get my way with ATC. I never get my way with air traffic control. I'm not even talking to you. I already know how to get to it. I'm not mad at ATC, it's just that it's a preparation of what's to come. Because some of you, many to most of you, you are not. I'll say it again, you are not. You're probably not going to get a chance to talk to ATC. And if there's one thing I'm used to, or one thing I should get used to, it's to go from here to Southwestern Colorado. Yes, it's vague, but, well, Southwestern Colorado. jeez. Good grief. What's going on? Why are my control surfaces moving? Why? Runners show no movement. Runners, no movement. However, but yeah, but you can always make an assumption. But some of you don't understand. You need runners. In order to move this bird. Oh, it got unplugged. I wonder how that happened. I think when I was flying the thud, I unplugged the rudders. As you can tell, been in cap for 10 years, and it's very much our life right there. Things, you know, when they go back, they make good use of them. All the personnel and cargo are aboard. Who likes taxiing anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and cheat my way over there. There means the runway. I want to go from runway 8, because I want to. Yeah, who likes taxiing anyway? Who cares? Who cares about taxiing? gives about it. Oh well. I will do that by closing the throttle. Other planes ahead of us go left, we go right, stop. Anyone to the right, we go left. Anyone to the left, we go right. Close the throttle, stop, and begin the process of evacuation. If I have an engine failure after V1, evacuate V2. If we're in the area of cities major. Over I-40, way past the Marriott, and in the direction of El Dorado High School. We will land at Coronado Airport. Or if we're out west, or anywhere past the Sioux, flyover, I will, of course, make the emergency landing at El Dorado. And if I have to land on the airport, I will, of course, land one of the most desolate places as possible. And every personal, everybody being on board away from doors. If we're in distress, we'll land. Size of the Lockheed C5 Galaxy. I'm gonna see what I can do without getting in a flyby here.
sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
I could slew a little bit if I wanted to.
You're up. You're up.
Or let's use the state fairgrounds. I don't think we're not going to have state fair this year in the pandemic somehow. And out there, out in the impact, continuing still not around the world. Oh yeah. Eisenhower Middle School. Right here. Eldorado High School. 12 penny run over here. That's what that's. I like those swings. And over here, a little green speck here. Nice one. Right here, there's no more ice. There's something like a flyby view. have to remake this flight sometime. Oh, well, I'm just going to go to one more thing. Or just a very quick one more thing. That video, as you can see here, I don't think I'm going to privatize it because, yeah, I want you to use that as a trophy for what is yet to come. Actually, I want you to use it as a little memento for what is yet to come. That's all I have for now, and I hope I got you somewhat prepared for what's to come.